Hey, what's up guys? I'm Joe, and I thought today we could talk about whether or not you should upgrade that clunker old phone that you've had in your pocket for years. Now obviously this is going to be different for every single person, it's totally subjective, so I came up with three main factors that really anyone could apply on whether or not you should get a new phone, or at least how often you should get a new phone. Now these are all going to be pretty common sense, so I'll go a little bit deeper into each one. But the first one I would say is how much you can afford, obviously. If you've got millions in the bank with nothing to spend it on, be my guest and get a new phone every week if you want. But if you don't really have a lot of money to spend on new technology all the time, then you are gonna have to be more conservative, and maybe you don't mind using the same phone for a couple years. Next, of course, is new features that you might want. If you see the next iPhone come out and it has wireless charging, you've been just waiting for wireless charging on your iPhone, you're a lot more likely to upgrade than if it has pretty much the same stuff as the phone you just bought last year. And the third factor is going to be performance over time. We all pretty much understand that for one reason or another, if you have a phone for several years, it just does not perform as well as when you first got it. And there's a couple reasons behind that. For example, new updates for the operating system, which require more processing power and assume that you have a later phone, might not work as well on your older phones, so as you update, it gets slower and slower because of that. And as you install new apps, which take up more resources, running in the background slows everything down. And even if you do a complete wipe of the phone and erase everything and redo it, that flash memory in the phone could degrade over time, which means no matter what you do, that storage is not going to perform as well as it first did. Now that's kind of theoretical. I'm not exactly sure how much the flash memory is going to degrade, but we do know that flash does degrade over time. But it won't just be the processing speed that degrades, also the battery. The batteries start to degrade after you charge it and cycle it thousands of times, so it's definitely not going to perform as well as when you first bought it. Right now I'm using my old Nexus 5, and this thing didn't have a great battery to start with. Now it's several years old. I have to basically run it on battery saver mode all the time just to keep it alive. Not to mention that battery technology is steadily improving over the years. There really haven't been any major battery developments, but new phones, even though they might not necessarily have a much larger battery, it's gonna be a lot more efficient. So based on these three factors, you can probably start to get an idea of how often you're willing to spend $500 or $600, or however often you get a new phone, or maybe you only like to get the really affordable phones so that you can upgrade more often. And you can also think of it in two different ways: how often you might want to upgrade your phone, or if you want to upgrade to a particular phone on one instance. If you have loads of money, then you can probably upgrade even if you don't necessarily need to. And money, I would say, is the biggest factor in how often you need to upgrade. But the features and performance of your current phone is going to be a bigger factor in deciding whether or not you want to get any particular phone that you just saw that's just coming out. Now, I think we all already know how much we can afford for a phone, and we already know if our phone is so unusable in terms of performance that we need to get a new phone. So why don't we talk a little bit more about how to decide whether you want the new features in a new phone or not. We all know that every phone manufacturer tries to get you to upgrade your phone every single year by telling you that their new little feature is a game changer and you should not even have your old phone because it's so useless compared to how useful this new little feature is. But is it really? It seems to me like it's very rare that any new phone has a true game changer. A lot of times they'll introduce incremental upgrades like a better camera with better low light, or more megapixels, or 4K video. But do we really care about that in the moment? Have you ever taken a picture and thought, oh, you know what? I wish this had more megapixels. I'm just not even gonna bother taking that picture. Or you're recording a video and you thought, you know what? I really wish this was 4K. No, you're typically trying to just take out your phone, oh, this is a cool moment, and you're just capturing it for fun. You're not really caring that much about the quality. The same kind of goes for these performance increases in terms of CPU speed or graphics or anything like that. They always try to say that, oh, this 20% increase is so much faster. Meanwhile, Typically, if you have a phone that's maybe 1 year old, it's not gonna be that much slower where you ever notice it. Yeah, if you have a phone that's several years old and it's always slow and not responsive like this thing, I need to upgrade this soon, you probably might just look at the new phone and say, oh, I need this phone because it's just faster in general. You don't really care about the percentage upgrade. You know it's just gonna be faster. Plus, it's like a rat race because we know that every single phone is gonna slow down to a crawl eventually anyway. So you really have to look at whether or not your phone is so slow that it's unbearable, as opposed to looking at the new phone and saying, oh, this might be more enjoyable, because chances are it's not gonna be that even noticeably different. And just thinking about it, there aren't that many killer features that I can even think of that would wanna make me upgrade my new phone if I didn't need to. Maybe a fingerprint reader. That's like the only one I can think of. A fingerprint reader, I could see why that would be super convenient, but other than that, I mean, bigger battery, okay, that could be a big deal if it's like a huge battery, or, you know, performance increases doesn't really do it for me. You know, the S7 is completely waterproof. Maybe if you do a lot of surfing, or I don't know, you spend a lot of time at the beach or the pool, that could be a big factor. But other than those, none of those really excite me. So I guess the conclusion and my thoughts just from making this video is, don't really look at the new phone to decide whether or not you need to get it. Look at your current phone and say, is this not working for me anymore? Because that's usually the biggest issue. If your phone is so slow, it sucks, you can't bear to use it anymore, then maybe look to see which phone is the best for you. But if you don't need to upgrade, you probably would forget that you upgraded it all in a week anyway. You know, your new phone will start slowing down, you'll just get mad at that as it always does, and then it'll be the same things again all over again. So I guess that's kind of it. I'm out of ideas, but if you guys have any more thoughts, let me know down in the comments section. I'd be interested to know what features you guys think are really killer features that would really make you want to upgrade enough to get rid of your old phone, even if it's not that old. If you guys did find this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up so I know you liked it. And if you want to keep watching, I've got some other videos on the right-hand side. I think you'll enjoy those. You can just click them or look in the description for the same link like if you're on a phone. And if you want to subscribe, I make new videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so I think it should be worth it. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.